process to see exactly how this race is run.
Here's our roadmap for the baton passes today. We'll be hitting 1. The procurement relay race, 2. Creating master data, 3. Sourcing and quotations, 4. Purchasing and receiving, and finally, 5. Invoicing and payment.
Section 1. The procurement relay race, breaking down silos. Because really, an ERP system's primary mission isn't just to store data. It's to absolutely smash those departmental walls so the left hand always knows what the right hand is doing.
Think of this integrated process flow as our treasure map for this explainer. If you look closely at the path we're taking, we start way over on the left side in the blue boxes. That's materials management, or MM. This is where we create our vendors, our materials, and handle the stock. Then, as we move through purchasing and receiving, notice how the process eventually just drops right down into those green boxes? That's financial accounting, FI. I love this because it perfectly illustrates how a physical action out in the warehouse automatically triggers a financial action in the accounting department. It's totally seamless.
To really wrap our heads around this, we need to humanize the process a bit. We're going to follow a model company called Global Bike. And here is our specific relay team, the folks who will be passing the baton to procure a product called the Chainlock 400. First up, we've got Joyce handling the initial vendor contracts. Then Aura, who's our purchasing agent. Down on the loading dock, we have Tatiana, our goods receipt clerk. And finally, Sylvia, our accounts payable accountant, holding down the fort in the finance office.
All right, moving to Section 2, creating master data, setting the stage. Because before Aura can buy a single thing, or Tatiana can receive it, the system has to be taught exactly what is being bought and who is actually selling it.
To set that stage, we're using the Global Bike Model Company case study from the SAP University Alliances. And the very first step of our race involves setting up a brand new vendor in the system, a supplier called Midwest Supply out of Lincoln. It's absolutely crucial to realize that without this master data securely locked in place, Midwest Supply literally does not exist as far as the SAP software is concerned. Once that vendor is in there, we have to define exactly what we need from them. Notice the concrete details established here in the general data. We aren't just saying, hey, we need some locks. The system demands total precision. We're setting up a requirement for exactly 200 units of the Chainlock 400. We've got a valuation price of $32 per unit, and super importantly, we're specifying that these need to be delivered straight to the Miami plant. The baton has basically been forged, now it's time to pass it.
Section 3, Sourcing and Quotations, Finding the Best Deal. We're handing off to Aura now, our purchasing agent, whose immediate challenge is that she just found the warehouse completely empty of these chain locks. She's got to initiate the buy.
Let's walk through exactly how Aura does this chronologically. It all kicks off with an internal need, right, that triggers a purchase requisition. Aura then takes that need and blasts out a request for quotation, or an RFQ, to the outside world. Multiple suppliers shoot back their bids. Aura evaluates them, picks the winner, and finally generates a formal purchase order.
Now, I really want to clarify the difference between the start and the end of that timeline, because it's a huge piece of procurement jargon. A purchase requisition is strictly an internal document. Honestly, it's basically a digital sticky note between departments saying, hey guys, we need to buy more locks. But a purchase order, that is an external, legally binding commitment sent to a vendor. It essentially says, we officially agree to pay you this specific amount for this specific product. And here's exactly how the SAP system tracks that entire evolution. You can see the internal purchase requisition on the far left branching out into an RFQ, which then tracks 3 completely separate bids from different vendors. The system lets Aura evaluate these right side by side. See that top supplier quotation? That happens to be from our newly created vendor, Midwest Supply, and it's got a green check mark indicating it was awarded the deal. That flows immediately into the legally binding purchase order on the far right.
Actually, scratch that. Let's simplify this real quick so we don't get overwhelmed by the interface. If we break that complex flowchart down, it's just 4 digestible phases. First, requirements processing, identifying the need. Second, sourcing, finding who can fulfill it. Third, bidding, evaluating the offers. And fourth, purchase order processing, locking in that contract with Midwest Supply. Aura has officially run her leg of the race.
Section 4, Purchasing and Receiving, the physical handoff. Now we get to see how all this digital paperwork translates into the real physical world. We're shifting over to Tatiana, our goods receipt clerk down in the Miami warehouse. Tatiana's job is super streamlined thanks to the SAP Fiori interface. On the left, you can see her clean, simple purchase orders dashboard tile. When she clicks that, boom, it brings up the exact details of that Midwest supply order on the right. She can see there are 2 expected delivery dates for the Chain Lock 400, so the system is telling her exactly what to look for when that delivery truck finally backs up to our loading dock.
When those boxes physically arrive, Tatiana confirms it by posting a goods receipt. Guys, this is a massive milestone in our relay race. Posting the goods receipt is the exact moment where the physical items are confirmed in the digital system. Doing this instantly updates the stock levels and automatically triggers a material document in the background. And looking at the resulting material documents, it clearly confirms the handoff. The baton has successfully passed to the warehouse. The system now officially recognizes that the inventory levels for the trading goods storage location, specifically at the Miami plant, have increased. The company physically possesses the assets they ordered. Tatiana nailed it. Her job is done. Which brings us to the final stretch. Section 5. Invoicing and payment. Clearing the liability. Now it's all on Sylvia, our accounts payable accountant. Midwest Supply has sent the bill, but Sylvia can't just blindly write a check, right? She has to ensure those goods actually arrived in the warehouse before she issues any company funds.
Thankfully, the integrated system guarantees she has that visibility. Sylvia uses her own tailored Fiori interface, starting with the My Purchasing Document Items tile. Because everything is completely connected, Sylvia's dashboard lets her track the supplier invoices and immediately see that they are directly tied back to Aura's original purchase orders and Tatiana's confirmed goods receipts. It's a complete, unbreakable digital paper trail.
So once that invoice is verified against the receipt, Sylvia initiates the final step, entering the crucial digital paperwork. She puts in the company code US00, selects the correct bank account, and makes sure the journal entry type is set to KZ. For those not steeped in SAP jargon, KZ is just the system code for a vendor payment. Next up, she selects the specific open items for Midwest Supply. Remember those 2 split deliveries Tatiana was expecting down on the dock? Well, here we see them translated into finance. There are 2 separate open invoice items of $3,200 each. Sylvia just selects both lines simultaneously to clear them out together, balancing the books perfectly.
And that brings us to the big financial finale. 2 invoices of $3,200 equals a total outgoing payment of $6,400.00. That single, verified payment successfully clears Global Bike's liability for all 200 of those chain locks, bringing their open vendor balance back down to exactly 0.
And there it is, the green check mark. Journal entry posted successfully. This simple little message is literally the finish line of our corporate relay race. It proves the entire procure-to-pay cycle is complete. From setting up the master data, to purchasing, to the warehouse, all the way over to finance, the department successfully worked in total lockstep. They eliminated the silos and secured the assets the company needed to keep running.
Which leaves us with this final thought for today. We really just watched a masterclass in process integration. Every single step left a permanent, fully auditable footprint. So I have to ask you, could your organization trace a single dollar or a single product back through every single department with this level of absolute certainty? It really makes you think about the power of a truly integrated system. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.